The death toll in the United States due to the coronavirus pandemic has now passed 100,000. Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson comes under intense pressure from MPs over his refusal to sack his top advisor, but he hits back during 90 minutes of hard questioning.
I do understand why people feel such indignation about the whole business, the pain of the whole business of the lockdown. But I really also think that what they want now is for us to focus on them and their needs.
As protests continue in Hong Kong, the US Secretary of State says the territory no longer merits special status under US law because China is stripping it of autonomy. And no luck with the weather for the launch of the first privately owned spacecraft to the International Space Station. Now that more than 100,000 people have died in the United States. That is the worst affected nation in the world. It is more than the combined total of fatalities from the Korean, the Vietnam and the Iraqi wars. Boeing is cutting 12,000 jobs in the US as the pandemic continues to wreak havoc across the airline industry. The plane maker says more than half of those are involuntary layoffs. Boeing announced in April it would shed 10% of its workforce by the end of the year to cut costs. Thousands of children in the Philippines are suffering from physical, emotional and economic harm as a result of President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. That's according to a report by campaigners. Human Rights Watch, based on nearly 50 interviews from across the country, the report also uncovered allegations of bullying and stigmatization of the relatives of drugs war victims, with some forced to live on the streets.
President Trump says he's asked the FBI and Department of Justice to investigate the death of George Floyd in police custody in Minneapolis. This is the scene live in the city now as protests continue over the killing. No luck with the weather for the launch of the first privately owned spacecraft to the International Space Station. The chief financial officer of the Chinese tech company Huawei has lost a key ruling in the trial over her extradition to the United States. Meng Wanzhou was arrested in Canada in late 2018. The US wants her to stand trial on charges including fraud linked to the alleged violation of US sanctions against Iran. She denies any wrongdoing, as does Huawei.